here to learn about Google. I'm going to focus more on Google Apps, so I hope you are comfortable with technology, but I'll keep it as low as possible from a technology perspective. Google Melbourne, as I call it, is much smaller than the Sydney office. So in Sydney we have 450 people, whereas Google Melbourne we have 4 people, so it's kind of imbalanced. Everything's somehow Sydney has all the people there. So, but really, from an Australian perspective, Google is very active in Australia. A lot of the products we develop, especially for Google Apps, is actually made in Australia. So we have a very strong presence in Australia, and there is a lot of Australian input going into what we do globally. I've got a few slides, and I'll try to go through that quickly. If you have questions, my details are there. Give me a call anytime. I was just answering a question of a couple of Google Apps customers already, and I hope there are a few people here who are already using Google technology within your nonprofit organizations. Google as a company is started in the mid-90s. Our founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, are people who really believe in the nonprofit, the services you deliver. And so we have a very active program in the US. I was just telling Doug, we don't have it in Australia, and I'll talk about what we're going to do in the future, but it's a very strong program in the US. A lot of companies take advantage of what Google offers to nonprofits, and we hope to replicate that in Australia and New Zealand in the near future. So when Google was started, when Google began in a garage in California, so this was the mission of the company, and this is the mission of the company even today. So what we want to do is organize information and make it easy for consumers to access it, make it universally accessible, and pretty much everything we do is in some way related to this: managing information, organizing information, and helping people access it as in the best way possible, in the easiest way possible. And the part of Google which I come from is Google Enterprise. So Google obviously has this big search engine which we all use to find information, find stuff, find anything we want. I was happy to hear Jean, who was before me, talk about how she found out about Aristotle and Plato using Google search. That's pretty much, we try to cover all types of information and help you with your search requirements. And we also are quite strong in the map space. So if you go to websites and if you're talking about locations of companies or location of shopping malls or whatever, you will see a Google map there helping you get there, showing you direction to that particular location. So we are in that space too, and obviously the enterprise part of Google, or the part of Google which actually works with businesses, kind of replicates what we do in the consumer space. So we do have a search business, and basically that is a business where initially we started with the search appliance. That is the only part of Google which actually can come and sit in your data center or your network to help you find information. So if you're a large nonprofit and you want to give an internal Google search tool to your employees or to your team members, the search appliance is an option for you. So it will basically sit in your network and find information the way Google search finds information for you globally. We also have something called Google Commerce Search. That's more for businesses who want people to have a very good, quick experience when they come to their websites. So if you come to your, somebody comes to your website and looking for information, how quickly can he or she get access to that information? So Commerce Search helps you with that. Maps is pretty simple to understand. It helps you with location. There's something called Earth Builder. Again, that's about visualizing data, geographic data, to help companies gain insights into their properties. But the topic I'm going to talk about is Google Apps. And it is basically a cloud, again, technology, cloud-based solution. And I'll try to explain what the cloud means. But it is a solution which will help you with your messaging. It'll help you collaborate amongst your team members, and I'll talk about how you can collaborate. It'll help you do video chats, video conferencing. It will help you do messaging between team members globally, wherever they are. If you're a dispersed company, it'll help you get teams to work together across continents, across countries. So it's a very useful tool, and I'll go through parts of it which I think is relevant for nonprofit organizations. So that is Google Enterprise, and I'm part of that. It is the fastest growing part of Google, so we really do a lot of business with businesses, including nonprofits. And within what Google does, again, I go back to our mission statement, and what is the platform to deliver that? So Google was born in the internet, or born in the web. So everything we do is in the web. So we are a 100% web company. Again, I go back to the earlier presentation. You were not there, but she was talking about the computer she had right now, and she has to manage virus, antivirus installations and updates and the like. So we try to take that away from your computing experience. So we try to take that away by putting information in the cloud or in our data centers, in Google data centers around the world. So it becomes easier for you to interact with your computer, get information from your computer, and process information in your computer. So everything you will experience with Google Apps is delivered through your browser. And the browser could be Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, whatever browser you use. So whatever you use to access the internet, that will deliver your information, or information required for you. We are one of the world's, or we are probably number one in data centers around the world. We build data centers every day. The demand for data centers is so huge that we've got large teams basically building data centers for the demand, to keep up with the demand. A little known fact, Google is actually the world's 4th largest server manufacturer. So we make servers, but we don't sell them. We use them for our own use. So just for our data centers, we make servers, and we are number 4 in the world. And we don't sell licenses. We don't sell you software and then ask you to pay us to keep you updated, buy upgrades. We don't do any of that. If you like Google Apps, you subscribe to it. You pay for it on a yearly basis. There are programs for nonprofit organizations, which I'll talk about. But in a general business scenario, you do not buy software in a big chunk of investment, but you basically subscribe to it. And that's one of the fundamental principles of cloud computing, which is really useful for businesses. And again, access from anywhere. This again, going back to the early presentation, Jean was talking about how people are always on their mobile and iPhones and whatever. But that is fact of life today. Everybody's connected. And what we are finding is that people are, so much of your work can be done on a mobile device today. And that's where Google's really investing a lot of money in making tools available to you on your mobile phone. And it can be an iPhone, it can be a BlackBerry, it can be an Android phone, or whatever phone you're using. And the last point is important, no upgrades. When you're on the cloud, when you're on the Google Cloud, you are basically on the latest version of the software. And why we believe in cloud computing is because we can deliver it. We can deliver the vision. As I was telling you, we have enormous scale across our data centers, and we can give you very high level of availability, keep your systems up, keep your business running, and really take care of security, make sure performance of your applications, make sure experience is very good as what you get with Google search. So when you type google.com.au, you get that simple interface, and then you put in whatever you want to search for, and you get that quick response, that instant response. That's what we try to do with our business customers or business users. We also have, some innovative things which we've done with our work culture. So for our engineers, we have 20% time for engineers. So effectively, they can take 20% of their time out of their normal work and do something they feel is innovative, good, new technologies, and they can take 20% of their time, invest in that. And there are actually phenomenal ideas which have come out of 20%, which is again an innovation which Google developed. So let me talk about the challenges. I mean, this is more a general business challenge rather than a non-profit business challenge, but I think it applies to most of us. We got too much information. It's just everywhere. It's coming to us from everywhere. Non-stop email, attachments, and some attachments are in 10 megabytes, 20 megabytes, and more. What you typically do, or we have typically done, is we've taken the information, put it into a folder. We make hundreds of folders, and when we put information in each folder, then we keep looking for it. Where is my information? And that's how productivity really goes down in a company. The other thing is collaboration. In fact, I'll just go ahead. We talked about that. Now, this is a typical scenario in where we're using conventional document processing tools. So you have to make a new project document, and it starts somewhere, version 1. So somebody starts the document and says, hey, team members, let's start. And they send it to everybody. They all start working on that document in their own individual workspaces. Then everybody achieves a few points in that document and sends it to that person, whoever started it, and he or she gets it. Oh, great. And then he or she tries to pin it together, sends it back. Hey, how does this look now? Process goes on. And then somewhere 5 months down the road, somebody realizes, oh, this person was not in the loop. Send it back. And this is how typically we are developing programs. We are building documents, or we are building anything in business. This is how it has happened. And this is a real challenge for productivity. It's a really inefficient way of doing things, and we're trying to change that. Now, with Google Apps, what you do is you have one document. When you are a Google Apps, so imagine your company is a Google Apps user, and you have a team of 10 who have to start a new project. You have one document. You generate one document. You create one document, and that one document can be worked on simultaneously by those 10 team members at the same time, all working together, all chatting together, all collaborating together. One document. And everything you do is actually saved so that you can go back to earlier versions. You can go back and see who suggested what, who did what, but everybody can actually collaborate on that one document. There's one true version of what you're doing. You do not have 100 versions out there in the company. You have one version. And that one version is available to those 10 team members at any time or simultaneously to work on, and everybody knows what the other person is doing. Imagine that, how more productive and efficient that would be. And that is possible today with Google Apps. I'm very happy to say a lot of Australian companies are doing that today. And I would strongly encourage you to go get a Google account and try that within your team. It's a free account. Sign up for a Google account, go into a documents part of Google Apps, and generate a document, share it with your team members, and and just experience the ability to do that, the ability to simultaneously collaborate with each other. And that will make you really understand how different it is to what we used to do in the past. And it's really the key differentiator to what you would typically do, the ability to collaborate. Yeah?
Is that document saved in a central storage or a central part, or is it mailed out each time it gets changed?
Yeah. So that's a fantastic question. Let me answer that. So in the old world, what would you do? You'd make that document, go into your email, send it out to people. In Google Apps, you don't do that. You share it. Attachments are 1990s. The new world is sharing. So what you do is you create that document, and then you share it with the team members you want to share it with. And they have access to the document at any point anytime they need. So you're never sending an attachment.
It's safe in the cloud.
Exactly. So you never have to put it in a USB stick, take it somewhere. It's always there for you. And you never have to send an attachment. So all you do is share it, and the person you share it with will get an email saying, hey, this document is shared with you. And you have the right to give that person viewing rights or editing rights. So if you want the person to just look at it, don't do anything to it, viewing only. If you want the person to actually edit something you've done, you can do that. So there is no attachment, there's only sharing. And it's a wonderful way to, consult, and that's one of the reasons why you have one true version. It's there in the cloud.
So when it's sent to someone, like I send it to you, I say,
You share it with me.
I'll also
Yeah,
share
yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they jump onto it while you're
Yes,
on it.
yeah.
Will they know you're
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So all of us, as we're sharing the document, we will, as you, for instance, you are typing something. Where you're typing, it will show that you are typing. So I will know you're typing there. If I'm typing somewhere else, you will know I'm typing here. It is a fantastic experience. You experience it, you'll understand it. Yeah.
Does everyone who's involved at the Google account?
Yes. Yes. So basically, you sign up to a Google Apps account, a Google account. With that, you get Google Apps. You also get Google Mail and the other things. But what I'm talking about right now is Google Docs, which is part of apps.
So does it work in a way that it's like changes with multiple users with varying colours showing that is that how it works?
Again, track changes is part of the old school. So in this, what happens is everybody has, so what Google does, what the apps does is, it gives you a color. So you could be in pink, the other person in blue. So everybody's highlighted. People are working. You can, and the other thing is, there is a chat window right next to it. So if you want to talk to the other lady here and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, and what do you think? You can actually collaborate a chat right next to what you're doing. And another thing which we released a few months ago is, imagine you are doing something and some other people, but there is one person who's not in the loop, and you want to do something, you can actually comment to her or him saying, this is something which you need to look at, and that person will get an email. Right? He doesn't need to be in your document. He'll get an email, and he can actually answer from his email, telling you or saying this is how it's done, and it'll go on to your record, into your tracking. It is just phenomenal in the way it helps you track what everybody's done, helps you collaborate, and also gives you one version.
What different formats of the document? It seems like it's just a typical Word document.
Yeah. So if you're using Word, we have a tool called Google Cloud Connect. It basically allows you to take your Microsoft Word document and put it in the Google Cloud. If you're using Microsoft Word, it's not real time, so you won't get that same. So what Google Apps has is something called a Google Doc format. So if you make a document in Google Doc format, it's real time. So you actually, as you're collaborating, everybody can see what's happening, and the thing is real time. If you're using Microsoft Word and you load it into the cloud and you collaborate, then it's not real time. It's probably a few seconds lag. It's not real time. But you can use Microsoft Word if you want to.
More about the format rather than a typical written document, sharing images,
Yeah.
maybe promotional brochures, things like that.
Yeah.
Is that something that you can do?
Yeah, you can. 3-4 years ago, you would have said, yep, we are not as, we probably still have some way to go before we are a full-fledged document processing application. But today, most of the things you generally use is there in Docs, in Google Docs. But if still you need to use, for instance, some people are so married to Excel, and the things you do in Excel, the macros and whatever, yeah, you can still use Excel if you want to. But Google has Google Spreadsheets. For simpler spreadsheets, it's got pivot tables, it's got a lot of features which people generally use. So 95% of the things you do with Word or with Excel or any word processing application, you will be able to do with Google Docs. But some of the other things, like if you are doing very hardcore macro programming within Access or within Excel, those are things you still do on-premise. But most of the things you're talking about, you can do on Docs.
How come you don't have version control?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
If I want to go in, people have been working on a document.
Yes.
I can't see who's put in what sections and be able to shift back as an admin.
Yes, you can.
Previous version.
You can. You can. I can assure you we can. If you can call me later after this, I'll show you how we can. It's absolutely one of the things with Google is Google Docs is version control. So you can actually go back right when it started. You can actually play it like a video player, and you can see the document being generated, and you can stop at a point where you want to stop to see what's happening. It's that feature rich. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And is there a limit to the volume of attachment? Because
Okay.
at one time I was told that, oh, you've exceeded your quota, and then I'm so afraid that all the attachments have gone.
Okay. So there are no, if you are working in Google Docs format, there is no limit. Okay. But if email has a limit, so I think if you're purchasing a Google Apps, it's I think 25. Again, I'll talk about it, but it's 25 gigabyte. Google Apps for Education, which is free for universities, that is 7.5 gigabytes. So if you actually go beyond that in email, then it'll tell you you've gone beyond. But with Docs, if you are basically just saving in Google Docs format, there's no limit. But if you actually are putting in Microsoft Word or any other format, then I think there's a 1 gigabyte limit. You can purchase additional storage. And again, attachments, it's not attached, you're storing it on the Google Cloud. So it's never an attachment.
Does it have to go in as Google Doc format, or can it stay as Doc?
It can stay as a doc. It can stay as a a Word document if you want it to stay as a Word document. But generally, if once you start using Docs, you'll find that it's probably useful.
Is there a way to get it back?
Yeah.
Like, say we want-
So again, I'll explain that. If you make a document on Google Docs, you can download it as Word. You can download it as PDF. You can do what you want, right? So it's very flexible.
Question while we're on the document management.
Yeah.
For a while there, we lost offline synchronization. Where are we with that? So if I go away and do doc connection, I'm using Google Apps.
Yeah.
I need to know with me, so the docs with me.
Yeah.
Where are we with having that, the sync stuff with that?
Syncing your
It used to be that you could actually go offline with your browser.
Yeah. So what's happening is that we are, not just us, but the world is going towards a new kind of technology, browser technology called HTML5. And with that, a lot of the offline things are coming with that. So it will happen this year again, but it will be much better than what it was before because we're using the HTML5 browser technology. So a little more time and you'll have it. Yeah. Okay.
Is there any, sorry,
Yeah.
anything like a context database or sharing context?
Yeah, you can. There's. I'll show you. It's in the email, so you can have contacts. So I think you can have. It used to be 10,000 contacts. I think they've changed it to 25,000. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Can you export multiple documents to Google Docs?
Yeah.
So if you've got 100 files or whatever,
Yeah.
you want to go that way?
Yeah.
export straight
Yeah.
to it?
Yeah. As long as it's under 1 gigabyte. If it's a different format, it should be under 1 gigabyte. But otherwise, you can buy storage. It's a very easy process to buy storage. Okay. So. And I guess the access anywhere. So, with the cloud, and I'll probably should go quickly to the. Again, this is quickly shows you have a lot of. If you have a large company, you have a lot of infrastructure managing your messaging, managing your document management, and all of that requires those upgrades, those updates, those all sorts of things, those maintenance, downtime. All those band-aids which you put to keep it going, that's gone. That's not required when you are on the Google Cloud. So the cloud, right? So all this is possible because we are in the cloud, and the cloud is, gives us rain. You have clouds with silver lining. This is something like that, but it's actually somewhere in a Google data center, somewhere in the world, It's highly secure. It's full of redundancy, so it's never goes. The point is that it should not go down. It should keep the service up and running, and that, in essence, is what the cloud is. So it's a huge collection of infrastructure and applications to provide service at levels which are required by your business. And it's a multi-tenanted cloud. So in this cloud, there are lots of companies who use this infrastructure. So it's Google's job to basically make sure that the entire infrastructure is servicing all its customers. It's highly, so we basically take information and spread it across lots of data centers. So it's safe, it's secure, and when you need it, we get it back from those data centers. There are many types of clouds. So there's something called a private cloud, which means that the cloud is only for your business or potentially in your business. There's something called hybrid cloud, which is a mix of your business using it and somebody else using it. And what we are doing is public cloud, so which is multi-tenanted. So many businesses can use that same cloud, but with a high level of security. So this is the sales talk. Basically, it's the best tools for the business. And it's truly is lower cost, and it's very reliable and secure. So these are the things you get with Google Apps, except for Postini, which is right at the bottom there. The Postini part is the archiving software. So if your nonprofit organization has the need to have legal compliance, which I think a lot of the bigger ones will do, is basically you can store your messaging, and all your information can be stored with compliance for, say, 10 years, 7 years, whatever you desire. So effectively, nobody can delete an email which is sent for that period. So from legal perspective, you are safe from a compliance perspective. So those are the things you get. These are the components of apps. Mail, obviously, you need mail. Talk, which is chatting within your team.
Sorry. Just regarding setting up accounts for everybody, can you set them up and keep your own domain as part of the...
Yes. So again, I should have mentioned that. This is a white label service, so effectively it's Google's running it, but say whatever your name of your company is, that's your domain. So effectively, if you are xyz.com.au, when you sign up to Google Apps, your email will be jane@xyz.com.au. Okay? So your domain is your domain. It's just that Google's running it in the background, but you don't have google.com.au or anything. Yeah. So talk, groups, so you can have groups within your company, so it could be marketing, sales, field staff, you can have different groups. Docs I talked about, the magic of collaborating together. Sites, so you could actually create sites internally. Again, it could be for departments, for teams, for new projects. You can easily, a non-technical person can actually create a site internally and then add team members to it, and they can collaborate on that. Video, powerful tool. I'll talk about this in more detail, so I'll just skip ahead. I think I talked about that. The other thing is, there's no upgrade, there's nothing like that. So it just stays on the latest release. It's in the cloud, we'll take care of that. You don't have to worry about it. And it's very, very reliable. So, if you just go to google.com.au or google.com, it's really up all the time, and that's what we try to do with our business. And it's certified, those two over there. So, quickly, Gmail, or when you sign up, you get Gmail, 25 gigabyte quota if you're buying as a business user. The folder, again, the folders thing which we talked about some time ago, that's 1990s. We think you can search for it. So if you need something, you don't go looking for your folders, and within your folders, subfolders, and then within the subfolders, finding which document you need. Now you can search for it. So you think what you want, you enter it into your email. Just in your email screen, you will see that. You just put it in, search, and you've got the result. Again, if you want your Outlook, if you're using Outlook and you want your Outlook client to be your front screen, to be your user interface, you can do that. This is an amazing tool. I use it literally every day to talk to my colleagues in Sydney or in the US. and it is fantastic for the ability to talk or chat or whatever you need to do in very good quality. So the sites thing which I was talking about, yes?
I just had a question about
Yeah.
the video chat.
Yeah.
Are you able to do multiple users?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, so we're coming out with that this year. It will be launched, but yeah, it will be launched. So it's more like you can have more people, yeah, like a conference, yeah. Yes, you can. I think I can. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, you can, I think, because it depends on the version, but I'm pretty sure you can. So you can add people who are, you can join a chat, and then you can add other people to that chat. Yeah. So some of the use cases for sites, you can have personal sites, team sites, product sites, project sites, whatever you want, in an easy to make format.
With the sites,
Yeah.
can you plug that into an existing site or has to be created through Google? You know how to manage the managing part of it?
I'm not sure about that. Can you drop me an email? I'll get that answer for you. Yeah, thanks. And YouTube for you in your organization. So you could actually run video messaging for your nonprofit. So you could, and I'm sure there are so many areas where nonprofits would like video messaging to go out within the company. This is a great tool, and there are businesses in Australia who are using Google Apps only for this. That's all they use. They purchase Google Apps, but their main interest was YouTube or getting an internal YouTube. And it's a fantastic tool for training, for messaging, for even CEO messaging, departmental messaging, product messaging, whatever.
Sorry. With that, can you do screen capturing video?
What's that?
Screen capturing video. Like capture your screen from the screen.
I'm not sure what you mean by screen capturing, but if you're meaning yes, you can. I mean, it's up to you what you do in your video. See, this is not, I'm sure the camera is probably showing a wrong impression, but this doesn't go and shoot the video. This is the place where you host it, where you put it in, and then it can go on to your teams. So you make your video. It's like YouTube, you upload it. So within that video, you can have your screenshots or whatever. So the other thing we've done is we have something called Google Marketplace. So if you have Google Apps and you are looking for a CRM solution, you can go to the marketplace and again purchase or subscribe to a service, a CRM service. You can subscribe to a project management service, or so there are heaps of applications which you can purchase, and again that will be delivered to your business from the web. I think a couple of months ago, we've launched the Chromebook. So it's Google's version of a laptop, but it doesn't have any of the usual stuff you have to install in laptops. It basically is a very efficient operating system, and that operating system, or this Chromebook connects you to the cloud. So if you're a Google Apps customer, then you can use this Chromebook to connect straight to the web, and it will give you access to whatever applications you're doing on Google Apps. The other thing with this tool is, yeah, go ahead. What's that? It hasn't arrived in Australia yet, so I was going to tell you that. I have one, and I use it. My son uses it for games sometimes. And so yeah, we both use it, me and my son. So in Google we have something called dog fooding. So we try out everything before it comes out. So there were 50,000, I think I don't know the exact number, but 50,000 Chromebooks went out to customers as well as Googlers. So I got one, and I've tried it. It's just brilliant. And the ones which are actually productized are very easy to use. If you are really using, most of your applications are web-based, it is the way to go. The more important part of this is that it is built for businesses. So as a nonprofit organization, you have several team members and you want to give them access in a cost-efficient way. This is a fantastic way to do it. Again, we are not asking you to put money up front. It's a subscription service. So the pricing for Australia is not yet finalized, but in the US it's $28 per device per month, and Google will support it, warranty it. If it breaks, we'll give you a new one. So that kind of, it's a OpEx cost for you, and it's a new concept because so many companies are doing cloud computing. This is something which we feel businesses will really take up, and there are lots of Australian businesses who are interested. The other thing with this is, if you are a really large nonprofit and using enterprise applications, this device has got Citrix built into it. So if you're using Citrix in your organization for those technology-minded people here, then this will work with Citrix. So we worked with Citrix to develop a receiver in that. So if you are running SAP or Oracle or whatever through Citrix, you can run it on the Chromebook. So this is a new product, a new innovation from Google, and we think it's got legs. Okay, so Google Apps for nonprofits, and basically in 2004, Larry and Sergey committed resources for nonprofits. It's huge in the US. I really apologize, but it's not active in Australia yet. But I can say that in 2011, in a large scale, we are working on it. Nothing's fixed yet, but it is expected that in 2011, nonprofits can make use of Google programs for nonprofits. Again, it's not just in apps. There are Google programs in advertising, so you can use Google grants to get advertising and other online in the other online areas.
Ravi, just while you're on that,
yeah.
Can you tell us this thing that Google has where you can buy a word?
Buy a
word. So that someone searches the internet.
Yeah.
So we've got a program, Wheelie Kids.
Yeah.
We can have Wheelie Kids with Google. How
Yeah.
does that work?
So effectively, it's AdWords you're talking about, and so you work with Google, and your word or your company is tagged on to. So when somebody searches for whatever your word is, yours will come up. So that's something you work with our retail part of our business. I'm happy to put you to them, but again, if you have so for not-for-profits, you have something called Google Grants, which you could use. Again, I'm not 100% sure if, I think, I was just talking to the gentleman there, he has used Google Grants, so you might be a good person to tell him how to do it, but you could use a Google Grant to help you with that. So what it does is, when somebody searches for that particular word, your name, your company your links will come up. But again, that's something we can work on. It's something if you send me an email, I'll forward it to the right people. But that's not part of apps. That's the online, the search part of Google. Okay, lots of companies have gone. Gone Google. Yep.
Google Not-for-Profit is in the US, but I thought there was a Google for Charities market in the app, so it's not available in Australia.
For charities, I'm not 100%. We do. I can tell you what
Sorry, saying because you've got Google for Education.
Yes.
And I thought that Google for Education, if you're a charity, you could also apply for Google for Education, the same term, so it used to be before.
I'm not 100% sure, but education, yes. So if you are an education institution, you get it for free for students and for staff. I think charities probably is covered under it. Again, in non-profit, there are conditions as to what type of non-profit you should be.
As opposed to a non-profit,
Yeah.
a charity
Yeah.
organisation.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can apply for Google.
Again, I can check that for you. Yeah.
I think you can, because I've tried to get it.
Yeah.
You can't, they knock you back, they just say you're not American, and you can't have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're an education.
I've been in contact with Google in Sydney, and they basically have given us up to 300 licenses as a not-for-profit, but it is the education version, so you don't get like your 25, you're going to get 7.5.
Yeah.
But you can have up to 300 licenses for free.
So I see.
So,
So he knows. So he knows the right people there. Again, it's Sydney. It's not Melbourne, right?
so, and we're a, PBI charity.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a bit interesting, but I've got lawyers who I work for, and I just want to know the lines to address, how to address them about sort of privacy and Gmail and
Yeah.
how they feel that that's secure, but with their client confidentiality and stuff like that.
It's like, there are 3 million businesses on Google. It is, it is a cloud solution. It is multi-tenanted, right? There are high levels of data security. So, if you send me an email, it's not stored in one place. It goes to different data centers.
Yeah, but what about the sort of searching through the emails and stuff?
Yeah, but that's you searching in your email, not somebody else. So effectively, if you have your email, so if you start a Google Mail account, and you have a history of emails, the mail, when you search it, it only goes to your email, nobody else's.
But is it Google, Yahoo, all that stuff that's behind?
No. There are, I showed you the certifications we have. One of them is a company which comes and audits us for any unauthorized access of customer data. So data is yours, the ownership is yours, of data is yours, and the way we run our business, and there are videos in if you Google it, you'll get it. There are white papers which tell you how we do not. And seriously, 3 million businesses, there are a lot of emails to go through. It's just, yeah.
So the privacy situation, if you've got an organisation and you're saving things on the cloud, do people have to be invited to view your documents if everything's saved there, or as an organisation, or if you're looking at more from a document management system?
Yeah.
Does it all come under your organisation's cloud?
Yes.
How do people search?
So it's in your domain. So if you're whatever you are, .com.au, those are your documents, and so it is yours. So you can invite others, you can invite external parties to look at it, but it's up to you. So
Anyone within your organisation that comes under your domain can search any documents that are in your
again, it's up to you. So you can make it, when you create it, you can decide whether you want to share it, whether somebody can edit it, somebody can view it. You can restrict it to a department, you can restrict it to a team, you can restrict it just to yourself. Private, you can write it as private, nobody can get it. So there's a high level of classification of information security within that. Yeah.
Just say you want to convert your company from, your server in the office to cloud-based.
Yeah.
How easy is it to transfer all the information to cloud?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have, it's not, we have tools depending on how many servers you're talking about. So, if it's a smaller company, it's relatively easy. If it's a larger company, you should engage a Google partner to help you with that. But we have numerous tools to help you migrate data from your environment to the cloud. So it depends on the size of your company, really. Yeah.
What if you lose some of the data as it's being transported from here to wherever the client is?
So I'm sure when they design your project, or when you transfer it from your device to the cloud, it's still there on your device. So even if only when you have it all in the cloud, then you will take it out of your device. So I've not heard of a situation where it's disappeared into the cloud, but just to just to be sure. Yeah.
You have to have a certain amount of blind faith.
Yeah.
You sound pretty convincing about the cloud.
Yeah.
But somebody who really isn't that au fait with technology,
Yeah.
how would you persuade somebody that the cloud is the way to go?
Uh,
You talk about security, and there are high levels of security.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean? Can you tell us a bit more about the security levels and how you know?
It's a very complicated topic, but it's it's just the cloud decision is a very important decision to make. So are you comfortable with your information not within your company? It's like electricity. When many years ago, factories used to generate electricity themselves for their own factories, and then it went on to utility. Then you had power companies. It's sort of similar. So Do you want your own power generation unit, or you are happy to take it from somebody else? Google is really a utility company. So our job is to keep, is to use our data centers to provide you a service. And that service could be email, could be docs, could be applications, whatever. But that's our job. And within our agreements, we talk about security, what level of SLAs will give you, what levels of security will give you. And if who is making the decision is comfortable with that level of security, they can go for it. But the cloud decision itself is the first decision. Are you wanting to save costs, to improve efficiencies, to improve productivity by going to the cloud? Or are you happy with where you are, with data in your company? And again, the whole concept of putting it in the cloud adds an element of security just in that your data is not in one place, it's distributed. So if something happens somewhere, you don't lose your data. Again, with the laptop, you carry a laptop, you have lots of information in it. You lose your laptop, you lose your data. With the cloud, the data's in the cloud. You lose your laptop, you're not really losing much. Yes, you're losing a laptop, but your data is in the cloud. So it's a mindset, it's a paradigm shift in computing. Yeah. It's changed. I think it was 25, there was a limit of 25, but it's changed. I'm not 100% sure what the new level is, but if you take my email and you drop me an email, I'll give you a response. So in Australia, we have Rewrite, which uses Google Apps, Flight Centre, AAPT, Mortgage Choice, heaps of customers. I know there are lots of companies in Melbourne who are going Google, as we call it, so you've gone Google. And I'm hoping that you can look at the Google solution for your own organizations and hopefully go Google. We will help you in any way we can. Hopefully the nonprofits program will start in Australia this year, and then you can have, companies which are below 3,000 users can have the opportunity to go for it for, at no cost. But if there's any question, that's my contact details, and we actually have a Google roadshow on today, so I have to run across to the Hyatt. But I hope I've entertained you and given you some value. Thank you.